What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Hope you guys are having an amazing day and good luck on your sharp pulls tomorrow on 2x Ancients. If you're trying to go for Harima, hopefully you're gonna get her because she is a beast of a champion. In today's video, guys, we're gonna talk about the Sand Devil's Necropolis. This is going to be more of an endgame guide because, yeah, the dungeon is kind of like pretty endgame. Actually, it's pretty hardcore for newcomers. I wish Plarium would actually open this dungeon once you reach level 60 or so, because many other games out there are locking their content behind levels, and some of the content is really locked for a long time. You know, you gotta grind the game for quite a while, and I feel like it's just fair for Plarium to do that as well, because it's pretty intense to be the boss. Yeah, you can farm some of the lower stages with the right champions and things, but yeah, it's pretty intense. That being said, big shout out to Pavo for creating this toon a few months ago, I would say. I think time is just flying, so probably it's been over 2 months. We made a guide on a different team with Mother Cybele Unbooked, Raiho Bone Spear, and we had 2 DPS and we had the Mita in it. That was around 2 minutes and something to farm. Well, today we're actually gonna try something else, guys. It's gonna be very similar, but instead of having the Mita, we're actually gonna drop her out and we're gonna bring in another damage dealer, making this a very fast farm, very efficient team as well. If you manage to tank your champions, you won't be having any sort of issues. Decreased speed from Mother Cybele won't affect your run. One thing to keep in mind, Mother Cybele is not booked in here. We haven't tried speeds for Mother Cybele being booked. So if you booked your Mother Cybele, most probably you're gonna have a bit of a struggle. I doubt it that it's gonna work, but if you manage to find a tool for that, let me know in the comments down below. So this is the team that we're gonna try, guys. I'm lucky enough to have 2 Septimus. If you don't have Septimus, you can replace Septimus with a Husk. The one thing to keep in mind with Husk, he's gonna get crit hits from the boss, so you will require to make the champion even tankier than Septimus or Armiger. Now, Armiger needs to be in this team if you want it to work. And I'm quickly gonna go over the team preset. It's pretty straightforward. You're gonna wanna have Raiho as lead, not Mother Cybele. It's gonna be very important. Have Mother Cybele straight after Raiho Bone Spear. And then we have prioritizing the A2 skill on Raiho, prioritizing the A2 on Mother Cybele, prioritizing the A2 on Septimus, and the same with Armiger. Very important to prioritize the skills, especially for Armiger. If no, Armiger will just constantly attempt to use the A1 and try to drop the turn meter, even though it's not possible. Now we have 3 Spirit champions. All the Nukers are Spirit. That is strong affinity for stage 25. The good part about the team is that you can run the exact same toon from stage 16 all the way up to 25. So if you are stuck at a previous stage, you're gonna be able to go all the way up. And if by any chance you think you can farm stage 25 because of your stats, you're gonna be able to farm one of the lower stages and just reduce a bit the stats on your champions. The speeds, they still kind of need to be there. You don't need to have Savage on Septimuses because you're gonna hit the enemy max HP cap anyway if you have masteries and if the champions are booked. So you can pretty much run whatever sets you guys want. You can put them in something that is gonna tank them up a bit. That will make your life a bit easier, right? Not needing to have Savage. Now Armiger kind of needs to be on Savage. You see he's very slow, 142 speed, and you want to tank him up as well. I have almost 3k defense, 60k HP. Of course, the higher the better. The more crit damage on Armiger, the better, because he's just not gonna hit the cap on enemy max HP. So let's do a couple of runs. The average time is in between 1 minute and 13 seconds up to 1 minute and 30 seconds, around there. So it's definitely pretty good. There are other similar teams that are pretty reliable farming this dungeon in around the same time, but you need to have Duchess, and you need to kind of like sacrifice your arena Duchess if you have one, and give her some crazy tanky stats on Defiance, Stalwart, and stuff like that in order to ensure that she's just not gonna die, you know? So yeah, I don't want to sacrifice my Duchess for this dungeon, honestly. Like, I have 2 Duchesses, I'm using them both in arena 100%. I don't want to drop any of them for this dungeon, you know? So it doesn't matter if the boss puts decreased speed or anything like that on us. The one thing that can slow you down, and unfortunately is nothing that we can do about that, is if Raiho Bone Spear doesn't land the defense down here on the boss, the 3% chance can proc, and that can be pretty annoying, right? Like, it's not gonna happen that often, but every now and then the run will take a bit longer than what I just mentioned before, you know. So we are at 56 seconds mark, almost 1 minute, and yeah, we almost got the boss down. You could potentially try and use this with 3 Septimus, but you're gonna have to change a bit the speeds because Armiger has his skill on a 2-turn cooldown, and that's why he's so slow. Pretty important, you see. Most probably a Helm Smasher from Armiger didn't proc here, and that's why the boss is still alive. But if that was proccing, the boss was gonna be dead. HP burn from Raiho Bone Spear helps as well. She got such a massive value surge with this dungeon, Raiho, unbelievable. And same with Mother Sibel, actually, because she's just so solid to carry the team, you know, and the turn meter and everything else that comes from her. 1 minute and 36 seconds for the first run. You see Armiger is a bit behind with the damage. Now, you cannot put a Husk instead of Armiger and keep the same speeds either, because Armiger is key. If you're bringing a champion that has a 4-turn cooldown at that speed, he's just not gonna rotate enough to have the skill available for when the boss is gonna be asleep, basically, you know. So let's do another run. Maybe we're gonna have better RNG with Armiger now. Very important to respect the speeds. You don't really have any space to wiggle around because that's gonna mess up the tune. Yeah, you might be able to change a couple of things here and there, but then you're gonna have to change speeds for all of them. So that will definitely require a bit of work in there, you know. It's pretty straightforward with the speeds now. Mother Sibel, she is on a Guardian set. I gotta say, I don't have that many pieces of Guardian. I just don't seem to get lucky with them, or I don't have many that have speed anyway. So it was a bit of a struggle for me to get the speeds because I didn't have many speed glyphs. But if you're kind of like preparing for it and you're saving your speed glyphs and things, you're gonna be able to get the speeds without a problem on Mother Sibel as well. And if you're not able to use a Guardian set, it's fine. You're gonna use something else on them. I have Defiance sets on one of the Septimus and on Armiger. That helps them a bit as well to stay alive, reducing the damage from the boss, you know, which is massive. And here we are. Yeah, this is gonna be a similar run because I feel like we didn't dealt enough damage at some point before that, you know. And Raiho, she seems to be a bit hard to keep alive there, but if you're increasing a bit the stats, maybe a bit of more defense, a bit of more HP, it's definitely not going to be any sort of trouble. It didn't fail the other team. I think I've done around 25 runs, if not more. A lot of my clanmates are actually using the team now, so no complaints from anyone. 1 minute and 40 seconds, not the best, but that's mainly because of Armiger. You see, he actually dropped quite a bit of damage. It started good with 330k hit, and then I feel like Helm Smasher just didn't proc on the other hits, you know. You see, Septimus is gonna hit the cap anyway. I have no Savage on any of them. 291k on that hit from Armiger. So this is gonna be the last run, guys. Then I'm gonna walk you through the builds, masteries, and everything else that you need to know about the champions, you know. Maybe we got resisted on an HP burn before on Raiho, and I didn't notice that. That as well is gonna reduce a bit. It's gonna increase your run time, because the HP burn brings quite a bit of damage, you know. Would be nice to have 3 Septimuses and run this, yeah. So it feels like it's gonna be pretty much the same, because Armiger, he kind of like doesn't want to proc the Helm Smasher. Even though I have Savage on him, it just feels like is not enough with his damage, with his multipliers, you know. Definitely, if I'm gonna pull a Septimus at any time in the future, I might look into it to use it with 3 DPS that have their skill on a 4-turn cooldown instead of running Armiger in there, you know. Okay, are you gonna proc a juicy Helm Smasher? Nice, 352k. But then again, the other two runs he didn't proc it, and was pretty unfortunate. It's a shame that we cannot do a lot of damage when the boss is like this, because we were gonna be able to clean it up pretty quick from here, you know. I do want to see a faster run though. I do want to see a faster run as well. So maybe one run when Armiger is not really letting us down. Either way, 1 minute and 30 seconds is a very good time for this dungeon to be consistent, you know, because consistency is key. Let's do another run. I lied to you guys. We can do another cheeky run in here. hopefully Armiger is gonna perform a bit better, you know. Armiger as well, man. I feel like he's just getting better and better with all the new content. 387k from that hit, okay. You see, he's definitely performing much better this run. If he's gonna do the same next hit, is gonna be very, very good. So Husk instead of Septimus can work, but he is not strong affinity, and he's gonna be able to get crit by the boss. You're gonna need probably to have very similar stats with what Raiho has, you know, and that's gonna make it safe. If no, with a Husk that's not very well built, you might encounter some issues. He might die. Blood shield accessories, guys, are very, very important. You guys probably noticed already. When the champions are getting revived, they have low HP, they're gonna use the enemy max HP skill on the boss. They're gonna deal a lot of damage. They're gonna get a massive shield, and on top of it, they have Life Drinker Masteries, which allows them to heal. So these things are very, very important if you want the run to succeed, to be consistent. You know, 1 minute and 13 seconds. The best time I've actually got was this, 1 minute and 13 seconds. And here we are. It's just about Armiger if Helm Smasher procs or no, because Septimus, either way, he's gonna do his damage regardless, you know. That being said, let me quickly show you a bit the stats on the champions, guys. So recently used first, let's bring them up. Mother Sibel, she is the fastest champion in the team, and yeah, she is pretty fast. This is an endgame guide for stage 25, and I completely understand if some of you guys are not able to do that on a Guardian set. For some reason, it doesn't even show me the icons in here. But basically, these are the stats that we have on her. 80k HP, 4.4k defense, 312 speed, 312 is mandatory, and then the rest doesn't matter. No accuracy, no resistance. You want to have minimum 4k defense on her and around 80k HP just to be safe. Now, if you're not running her on a Guardian, yeah, you don't necessarily need to have 4k defense, 80k HP. You can lower a bit the HP and you're still gonna be fine, but not by a lot, you know what I mean? And yeah, you can use different sets. Guardian just makes it a bit safer because it helps to keep the other champions alive as well. Masteries, we don't have masteries on her at the moment. Definitely looking to get some masteries on her, and most probably I'm gonna go with Tough Skin, I'm gonna go with Blast Proof, I can go with Rejuvenation, I'm gonna go with Resurgent, definitely gonna get Delayed Death, and the rest honestly is not really gonna make a difference. If you're adding counter attack, the only thing that's gonna happen here is that you're gonna get more animations, and this is just gonna slow your run down. So no counter attack on any of the champions, and probably I would go on support, I would go on Statfast, I would go on Lay of Hands, and yeah, I would just make my way down. No Cycle of Magic, this is a no-no, but you can get Merciful Aid, get Lasting Gifts, like this is gonna help you out in different content as well, you know. And as tier 6, it's pretty hard to say what to take, but you could take probably Elixir of Life, or you could just go for more defense, Iron Skin, depending on what you need. But then you're gonna have to go on Selfless Defend, and I feel like each round is gonna happen once. Your champion is gonna survive anyway, he's gonna die the first hit, this is gonna get activated and you don't have to worry about it. These are the masteries that I'm planning to get on her. I need to farm them. I don't like to buy masteries, guys, so I completely forgot that I don't have masteries on her, but you see it works. She is not booked, so I mentioned it in case if you missed it. No books on Mother Sibel. If you have her booked, you're gonna have to find a different tune. We haven't really looked into it much, honestly. Pavo made the team, and we've been running it like this for quite a while now. Talking about the next champion, Raiho Bone Spear. The only downside of it is that you need to keep Raiho pretty slow. So the stats on her, you see, she's at 166 speed, 76k HP, 3.9k defense. I would honestly like to increase a bit the defense and the HP, but I need to have some glyphs, and I don't have any available at the moment. You need to have 500 accuracy for stage 25, so that's one thing to keep in mind. And I have her on a regeneration and a perception set. They are doing the job. I could probably look to get a different set instead of perception, but the only problem then is that I'm gonna drop too much accuracy. I'm not gonna be able to keep that up. Masteries, I have defense and I have support 3. So how you guys can see, we're going down with accuracy, we're going all the way down to Eagle Eye. This is not really gonna help me, but I just don't want to have a red dot in here. And I don't want to have Cycle of Revenge. That's not good, you know. So I do have Retribution on her. She's not really gonna get to counter attack. These are the older masteries. I haven't really changed them. Then Septimus number 1. This needs to be at exactly 239 speed. You see, I have him on a Defiant set and a couple of speed sets. Blood Shield accessories are very important for all the nukers, guys. So you need to have them for the 3 nukers because they're gonna get hit by the boss once they revive. They do their enemy max HP, then the boss hits with the A2, if I'm not mistaken, which hits pretty hard, and the shield is gonna protect them, it's gonna keep them alive, you know. Total stats on this Septimus: 48k HP, 2.8k defense, 239 speed, 96 crit rate, 266 crit damage. The good thing about Septimus is gonna hit the cap anyway. You don't need to have so much crit damage. It's just overkill. I feel like even 220 crit damage is gonna do the job and hit the 490k cap on the enemy max HP. And yeah, the higher the HP and defense, the better, honestly. Don't worry about attack and all the rest of the things. You don't need accuracy or anything else. But the speed on this one needs to be precisely 239. In terms of masteries, I have offense and defense 3. I have tough skin, blast proof. This is actually gonna help a bit as well. Helm Smasher as tier 6. No point to finish the masteries for methodical because I'm only using this Septimus in here. I don't need this here. It's not really gonna help him. And then no counter attack. You don't want to get that on him. Moving over to the next Septimus. This is on Savage. He doesn't need it. I'm just using him in the Mino, so I need to keep him like this. Seems like I'm gonna have to fix his crit rate to be on 100% crit rate for the Mino, but Blood Shield accessory is a must. So total stats: 55k HP, 2.8k defense. You see the stats on this are actually a bit better in terms of survivability. 238 speed, 87 crit rate. Using Spirit Champions against Force, because we are strong affinity, allows us to drop our crit rate to 85% and still crit every single time. So keep that in mind as well. 237 crit damage, no accuracy or anything like that. In terms of masteries, offense and defense 3. Helm Smasher as tier 6. And you see, I'm not getting a counter attack or the rest because are just not really gonna help the champion at all. And then we have Armiger. Armiger needs to be on Savage out of the 3 champions. And I have Savage and Defiant. Total stats on my Armiger: 60,000 HP, 2.9k defense, 142 speed. This speed needs to be pretty precisely as well, so you can't really play around with it. 87 crit rate, you don't need more than that. The more crit damage, the better. I have 259, would love to have around 300. That would actually help him quite a bit to deal more damage, but it is what it is. Masteries, pretty identical with Septimus. Helm Smasher as tier 6. Offense and defense 3 on them. No counter attack on it either. But this is the team, guys. It's a pretty endgame team. In terms of stats, yeah, you do need to have a few champions pretty fast. Have Mother Sibel pretty fast is important. Septimus 239, 238. The good part is that you can run them on 3 speed sets or whatever else allows you to gain the speed. We have the Ascending in the game. We have the Faction Guardians. 230 speed should not be a problem, especially if you are in the end game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Big shout out to my buddy Pavo again. That was all for this video. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.